one, undermining the master narrative. It is totally different from the postmodern concept of undermining. So undermining the master narratives in the forms of writing, like like Bama is doing in Karukku and then Sangadi, and also Lee Maracle is doing in her I Am Women and then Bobby Lee Indian Rebel. So undermining the master narratives is important feature, is one of the methodologies of the oppressed. And the third form of methodology coined by these writers is decolonizing the forms of opposition. They decolonize the narratives by blurring the genres. You can't see a kind of one genre in one text like I Am Women, or if you take Bama's Karukku. So what happens here is a kind of a poetics of storytelling takes place. So this poetics of storytelling is based on cultural memory of these writers, both in Tamil Nadu, like Bama, and also Lee Maracle in Canada. So what happens in storytelling is this. So recalling the memory, the embedded memory of these writers, being revealed in their writings. So by exercising the poetics of storytelling, they tend to tell a lot of stories based not only on their personal experience, but the experience of the people, by the experience of the people. So wherein the truth becomes a kind of, fact becomes fiction. It is a very important concept in the methodology of the oppressed, because normally in literatures, what happens is fiction, that is implied elsewhere. And there is no space for fact all the time. But in the testimonial forms of writings created by Bama and Lee Maracle, we can see facts become fictions. So their day-to-day life, their modes of oppression, they become fictionalized in the writing. This is the pain of this writing. And the last form I just want to zero in on is retelling the mythologies. All the stereotypes are being rewritten. It is not like you telling about us. It is me. I am telling about myself. So what you narrated about me is totally a kind of misrepresentation. So these are some of the features for comparing these four texts. It is amazing to see there are a lot of similarities, parallels. I found out there are about 74 similarities between these four texts. Number one, I'm not going to tell all these similarities, Even in the form of writing, in the beginning, they are very, very hesitant to write their own stories. So Bama was motivated by Father Mark in Tamil Nadu, who conducted a kind of workshop for the emerging writers. So she attended the workshop and then she started writing. Similarly, for Lee Maracle, what happened is there are two Marxist groups organized a kind of program. It is all parallels. There is no direct connection, but it all happens like that. It is interesting to see this interconnectedness. So this Marxist group organized a kind of audio recording the lives of the victims. So in that moment, Lee Maracle was invited to narrate her own story. So she narrated the story, and then it came out as a book with the help of many people like Bama's Karukku. So similarly, there are a lot of narrative techniques which are very, very. For example, Bama and Maracle began their career with autobiographies. So autobiography is the first form that they tried, wherein we find lot of testimonial features. So Bama's autobiography, Karukku, was followed by Sangadi. Similarly, Miracle also wrote one autobiography that's called Babili. That was followed by I Am Women. So there is a parallel we can see. And similarly, there is a kind of, triple, dispossession that takes place in the narratives. What is triple dispossession, in Tamil Nadu, the question of caste, the question of gender, okay, and then the kind of, the Dalit male, female becoming a kind of, another Dalit among, Dalits, Dalit among Dalits. So this kind of triple forms of oppressions are taking place, or you can see the kind of triple oppression in their narratives. Similarly, what happens in Lee Maracle's writings is this. Lee Maracle is a First Nations writer. We have Metis. He is a Meti, M-E-T-I-S. Meti is a term which refers to off-breed people, people born for the mixed, parents. Very often the father is from the European side and the mother is from the native side. And that is the first oppression. And these Meti people are not treated equally with, the other white people in Canada. Similarly, gender. Being a female is another problem for, Lee Maracle. Look at the powerful title, I Am Women. That's a powerful title given by Lee Maracle in Canada. So, and then being a, native population, and then being a kind of female in native society is another, there is a double patriarchy, the white patriarchy, and then the native patriarchy is also operating in the writings. So this kind of, this triple colonization or triple subjugation takes place in the narratives of Lee Maracle and also the narrative of Bama. Similarly, there is a kind of gendered self. For example, the kind of self that they narrate is extremely plural. They all the time, use the first person narrative, I, but it very often refers to the we. All the time, they represent a group of people all the time. So we can see a lot of, similarities in Bama and then also in Lee Maracle's writings. Next important thing is transnational feminism. This form of feminism, I'm not going into the concept of feminism, but what happens here is, they cross boundaries. Their problem is not the problem of other. They talk differently, they think differently, and then they write differently. So all the feminist tools fail to locate their problems and then fail to bring out their sufferings in this world. So they have to speak differently, they have to write differently, they have to think differently. Similarly, next, the role of grandmothers is very important. It's a kind of in Canada they call healing process.